When I was in the streets, I was in the streets. But when I'm on this side, man, listen. I take pride in what we do because I don't know no one else better to do it than me. I'm not getting these men who are coming out of the prison saying, go over here, go over there. No, I'm taking you. I'm taking you. You know, and I'm not bragging or anything, but we're 18 and 0 when it comes to getting Section 8 for brothers and sisters. You just got to know what you're doing, right? So it gives me an honor to be able to say, you know what? Garrick is starting your journey, and you're doing it with the right intentions behind you. So my first presenter, right? Me and her had a little battle. We met up at UCB, right? Now, for anybody that knows about UCB, UCB is about 90% women. 90% women. And I went there one day on a resource night, and she gave an outstanding presentation. And everyone, yep. But me, I gotta share my idea. I gotta share my idea. And we went back and forth. And what made me not respect her, but honor her, is her passion for her work. That says a lot. When a person's passionate about their work, it says a lot to me. So it gives me great honor to introduce Leidy, like the lady, to do this wonderful presentation on violence within music. Come on, man.
Thank you, Garrick. Thank you, Derek. I'm sorry. I get nervous sometimes, and then my mind goes into everything. But Garrick, I appreciate you, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the community, and for being an instrument of peace for the community. And I think that everybody has a calling in many ways, and all of you here who are also doing work that comes from the inside, it's because you have been called. I don't know if you believe in God or not, but I do. And I believe in God and in Jesus Christ. And I'm not here to be divisive. I'm here because I didn't before believe in any of those things. But through my own experiences, I feel like everybody has a calling, and I have a lot of testimonies, but today's not that day, other than the fact that if you are all here experiencing these things, use your experiences, like Garrick is doing, and like many of you already know, to mobilize the community, because the best problem solvers, the best mobilizers, are the ones who walked in those shoes as well. Because y'all have incredible wisdom, street wisdom, not just academic wisdom. Y'all are not just walking in theory, you're walking in practice. And that in itself is incredible wisdom and tools that the community needs. And I want to honor that, and I definitely want to respect that. And I'm coming from a lens of also auto experience, as well as academic experience. And I combined it together, and I'm here to present it to you all. So everyone, my name is Leidy like a lady, and I am a former rap, hip hop, and reggaeton music lover, cultural lover. And I say former. Why do I say former? I say former, and I'll be very quick. I say former because when I started to transition into a different space in my brain, I realized a lot of things. Sometimes we gotta view things from, sometimes we have to view things from the balcony, because if we stay on the dance floor for too long, we're gonna miss out on the big picture. And I had to step out of the dance floor, literally, because I used to be that person up in the clubs with high heels, dancing all day to the music, drinking and doing all these things, right? And even before that, I didn't want to go to school. I was like, school's not for me. Not just because I was at some point undocumented, because I was born in Colombia, Medellin, but because I was like, this stuff is not gonna get me anything. I'm in the corporate world, I'm making enough money to like, you know, this is a bunch of educated fools, I used to call. Mm-hmm. And I didn't drop out because my family members, some of them, they either got pregnant very young or they dropped out. And a lot of youth and a lot of adults, young adults alike, are saying, oh, I didn't know this. And a lot of them are also saying, no, but it's creative outlets. So I'm not here to judge. I just want to raise social awareness and critical thinking and informed consumer awareness. What is being fed to you and what are you consuming and then allowing it to control? Because this is something called human conditioning. They're conditioning our kids, our adults, and because we have nostalgic attachments to the music, we don't even realize what we are consuming. So that's why I asked the rhetorical question, are we consuming the music or is the music consuming us? But
it's something that is in, I believe, all of our families. Is the dark family topic that nobody wants to talk about, that nobody wants to address.
That's right.
Right? And it's also a heinous act, because that action can only take a few minutes and alter somebody's entire life. And particularly when we talk about men, right? Because women, we hear a lot about women being sexually abused, but men are sexually abused as well.
That's right.
And when that happens, I believe, just from my work and my experience, I've been advocating for kids and doing this work, researching for over a decade. And particularly when it happens, sexual abuse happens to a man, it's a lot of shame, a lot of hurt, right? That oftentimes goes untapped, untouched, unresolved, right? So my whole movement is about prevention. Is about preventing these things from even occurring. We don't want to be proactive. We want to be proactive, but we don't want to be reactive. We don't want to wait for things to happen to respond. My goal is to try to stop these things from happening, to introduce conversations about good and bad touching, about body boundaries, not just for girls, but for boys also. I teach them about being aware of their private space, and that it's okay. I don't care if it's your mother, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, because typically it's not stranger danger. It's not some creepy guy riding around in the van. It's uncle so-and-so, it's cousin so-and-so, it's somebody in the social circle who offends you. And if we don't have these conversations with our children, particularly because it's somebody that oftentimes they love and trust, that's gonna empower the predator. Okay? So it's important for us to have these dialogues, ongoing and consistent, not scary. You don't have to make it scary, but you have to make it real, and you have to be understanding that this is safety talk. Just like you teach your children to look both ways when they cross the street, when you talk to them about respecting their bodies, respecting themselves, and being okay with setting boundaries with regard to their body,
Right.
that's everything. And that is much needed. Be still, okay? I got my baby with me. He's my assistant today. So give him a round of applause. So back to what I was saying, I want to just share a little bit about my own personal story. So I was assaulted when I was a child, and I actually told, and most children do not tell, because it is somebody in the family or that the family knows, and oftentimes the child knows. They don't typically tell, but I did tell, and I was not believed. And so that's another dynamic, right? And when that happens to children and they tell, they get the courage to tell, and then they're not believed. That empowers the predator. Because then the predator sees, I can do my thing. because nobody's going to believe you, and that's the game that's being played. So for me, I didn't know this at the time because I was a child, but I became an advocate in that moment when that happened to me because I was determined. I never, thank God, was the type of person who felt that because that happened to me, I was no good. I felt like I told, and I'm going to continue to be the voice for the voiceless, So that became my mission because I believe that each one of us has no coincidences in life. There's a reason why, for some reason, God orchestrated it for each of us to be in a room together today. And again, I'm not going to waste the opportunity to pour into you. But I want you to pour into yourself right now. Because every one of us has something we're dealing with. Your issue may not be my issue and vice versa, but we all got something we deal with, right? So I want to just give you this tool to reflect on, okay? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's read it together as a group, and I want y'all to say it like you mean it.
Okay.
I see a winner.
I see a winner.
I see a queen.
I see a queen.
I see someone.
I see someone
Who can do anything.
who can do anything.
I owe you the best.
I owe you the best.
My vision is clearer.
My vision is clear.
I love the person.
I love the person.
I see in the mirror.
I see in the mirror.
And I want you all to take that with you. That's just my love offering.
Wow.